Hi, my name is Nicholas Fazio, and this video is a short introduction and gloss of my upcoming article entitled Rethinking Human Smartphone Interaction with Deleuze, Guattari, and Polanyi, which is coming out in Theory, Culture, and Society. My interest in this topic arose a short while ago when I wanted to understand the significance of the smartphone as a globally pervasive piece of personal technology, but felt dissatisfied with the inherited theoretical frameworks of human-computer interaction that one might use to explain what happens between a human being and their smartphone. The primary goal of this paper, then, is to confront these inadequacies through an applied reading of Deleuzo-Guattarian philosophy of brain, on the one hand, and Michael Polanyi's biophilosophical essay titled Life's Irreducible Structure from 1968 on the other. And at the end, arrive at a new conceptual toolkit for thinking about what happens between humans and computers and a new understanding of what universally grounds human smartphone interaction. Importantly, the human smartphone dynamic explored in this article is taken to be emblematic, at the very least, of all interactions between human beings and any interfacial smart devices. This paper has two components, the first critical, the second speculative. In the first, I identify what I see as the two major culprits of theoretically deficient accounts of human-computer interaction. These are the accounts put forth by first-wave cybernetic theory and early phenomenology, deriving from Husserl, Heidegger, Merleau-Ponty, and so on. In brief, both accounts, despite touching upon real forces, such as biofeedback, the phenomenal encounter, perform what Deleuze might call a biunivocalization, in which a heterogeneous gathering, like that of the human and their smart device, becomes homogenized, symmetrized, or wrongly overcoded by a set of logics that work perfectly well in the domain of one half of the human-machine dyad, but not at all in that of the other, at least not without paying a high price. In first order cybernetics, this is performed through a computerized reduction of everything into mere information and manipulable feedbacks. In traditional phenomenology, there is a similar kind of reduction, but this time to a stasis, in which a smartphone can be said to vanish into one's hand during use, for example. In contrast to these totalizing accounts, I try to bring into play Michael Polanyi's notion of boundaries and Deleuze and Guattari's chaotic contracting brain hypothesis from their last major text together titled What is Philosophy? The former is used to explicate anew the structure of human smartphone interaction, the latter the modality of this interaction. From a synthesis of these two speculative readings, I arrive at a handful of new concepts such as intimate inertia, thought fields, and bounded interference. All of these concepts operate within what I propose to be an existential asymmetry that fundamentally dirempts human and smartphone, thus treating the event of their material coincidence as dyadic and not monadic. These concepts help establish, I wager, a non-deterministic space in which temporary, bounded, and asymmetrical structures of interference between mind and machine and the technopolitics that propel that interference act as the grounding dimension of human smartphone interaction.